now.
Okay.
It's coming up. Yeah, it's visible now. Thank you.
All right. So can you see how I install the pip install pandas? I don't believe you can see my digital notebook. So let me know if on on doing this you get what I'm getting on my screen. So once you have done this, just put down on the chat so that we can proceed. Good. I can see somebody already dropped a message that she's able to do that already. Okay. So requirement already satisfied means that you've done it before, right? So I need somebody that is just doing it for the first time. So I need somebody that is just doing it for the first time to type done. And so I'm showing a PowerPoint file now. Joy, can you confirm you can see a PowerPoint file on my screen?
Yes,
All right.
I
So
can
while we
see
wait
it.
for others to drop their done or to give us um the error message they are getting if at all, we can just look at some English to understand number. So they are essential tools for data science. So the core concept of this is like an AI ML course for you to know how to use Python for machine learning. And I know that there'll be somebody coming in next week to dive into machine learning proper. So without NumPy and Pandas, you can't prepare your data for machine learning. And that is why it is very, very essential. So most of the NumPy packages, we might not really use them today, but you will definitely use them next week in the machine learning class because you are going to probably be doing some text analysis. We're going to be doing a bit of feature engineering today, but we're not going to go into deep feature engineering. We are going to be doing a lot of sentiment analysis. You're going to be doing a lot of, you might even have to train a model with the data sets that we have, right? So because of all of that we're going to be doing next week, you would appreciate why this class is very important. So I believe it's a build up, right? So I believe the first two classes has introduced you already into the world of Python. So as a business owner, as a data professional, because at the end of the day, not business owners who want to be deriving these insights by themselves. Most time business owners will defer to a data professional to do this for them. But whereas you are starting up and you want to do it by yourself is also fine. And you're on this call, you can easily learn it. Yeah. Yes, the class is being recorded. So in this session, we're just going to be introducing you to NumPy basically and then doing some things with pandas also. So pandas, how it was developed and all of that. These are just basically historical information. Then what do we use pandas for? We use it in indexing, we use it in subsetting. That's like the data we're going to be using today is a file that has a description. So to subset that kind of a data, that is where pandas also come in. Why? Because you would need that description to be more specific so that you can extract insight from it. So I have shared the CSV file on the chat so that we can all download it for our today, right? So you can download the CSV file that I have shared on the group. If you have any issue with that, do let me know. All right, so moving on. Okay, Christiana, I can see your message. You've also been able to install Numpy. I can't see where you install Pandas, but I want to believe you've installed that also, right? So most of the time, if you do your download via Anaconda and you install your data notebook via Anaconda, most of all of these packages are part of the things that you would have added to your environment in Anaconda. So calling all of this will just, bring it up from there. So let's move fast. So we already dealt with installation and setup. Okay, I was talking about core features and functionalities. You can use it to reshape your data. So the bulk of what we're going to be doing today is exploratory data analysis, EDA. So in EDA, you try to deep dive into your data, right? So you clean your data in every way possible, just to be sure that there are no inconsistencies and your data is properly ready for your machine learning. So we're basically preparing this data to be ready for what we're going to be doing next week, right? So if your data is not properly cleaned, whatever you want to derive, whatever forecast you want to do, whatever prediction you want to do with your data will not be accurate. And that is where you need NumPy and Pandas. And you also need Matplotlib to visualize, because in the process of visualization, as we would see today, we would also see some cleaning. It's called exploratory data analysis, because in the process of exploring the data, you still realize that, some things are not still clean. We can still go back and do some cleaning on all of this, right? So that's the core of what we're going to be doing today. So I want to believe that we have used pip install to install our pandas today, and we're ready at this point, right? So we're also going to be looking at some introduction to NumPy. So what is NumPy? NumPy is numerical Python, right? So the word NumPy means numerical Python, and it is used to create an array or to put data into a range. That these are like the basic things you can use it for, which we are going to be using it for today. So you can also use NumPy as long as your data is numeric. You would be able to use NumPy to query that data as long as it is numeric. If your data is in string formats, NumPy functions will not work for it. So your data have to be in numerical functions. And that's in EDA, that's one of the advantage that Pandas has over NumPy. There are some things that you can do in Pandas and you can also do in NumPy, right? But the fact that in NumPy, you are going to um you are going to have to make the data first in numeric data before you can perform some of those functions. It kind of limits the things you can do around it, right? So I want to believe you're still with me. If you're with me, just put a thumbs up, or you can just type in the chat. So, like I said,
Yes, we
NumPy
are
can
hearing you. We can hear you.
Thank you very much. So, we have n-dimensional arrays. So you can create an array with your NumPy data, right? You can do a matrix operation. You can also perform some mathematical functions, right? Then, what other thing, the installation and setup. You can use pip like we already did. If you're using Conda, you could have used Conda for installation. But since many of us are using that Google Colab or Jupyter Notebook, this works better, right? It works better for us. So I would show you a way to create data without having any data. So you don't have any data and you want NumPy to create data for you. So you can easily do that in NumPy, right? So I might provide you with this file when I'm done with the class. Depends on what does it depends on now? Depends on a lot of things. But let's just continue. So let's see how to use NumPy if you don't have a data set, just to create a dummy data with NumPy. So this is called np.random. So random in NumPy allows you to generate random numbers. So for real life cases, you need to add this .seed42. So this is when whoever was defining NumPy defined it. It created a range of useful and life applicable data and named it seed42. So when you use np.random.seed42, it will give you real data. It will not give you something that you cannot work with or something esoteric. The shape of a flower is a data. The size of petals is a data, but you might not necessarily need all of that in day-to-day application basis. So when you call this random.seed42, you can be sure that the data that will be generated in your electronics, in your clothing, in all of these sections would be related properly to what you can apply them with. What does n mean? N is like a step size. So if we're going to be defining our random data from 10,000 to 100,000, right? We are going to have a step size of 1,000. So for our order ID now, because it's an ID is just a value that helps you identify a particular product or an item uniquely. So if you're going to be having that, I can copy this into the chat room so that you can also try it on your hand and see what it gives you. So this will provide an actual data for you, and you can modify it. If you say you don't want profits, you can say to do loss and subtract your sales from what you're getting and all that. You can just use the data to do anything because it's actually going to produce data for you. Have I run this now? You tell me when you can see what it gives you. So if I run this now, I'm going to have an error, right? Can someone put in the chat why I have this error? NP is not defined. Quick. I'm sure this is not our first class, so you should have maybe some basic knowledge or some logic around how Python works. So who can help us with that? I can't see anybody typing. Why do we have NP is not defined as an error? I'm not saying it's going to abstract it to you. Thank you very much, Olubumi. Yes, we have not imported the library. So the first thing we're supposed to do, I'm going to move this cell up now, is to do import NumPy as NP. So by doing this, the system recognizes NumPy to mean the same thing as this NP that I'm writing here. So let's do the same thing for pandas. Import pandas as PD. Then we can also, so with that, we also have a PD installed. So we'll do the same thing for Matplotlib. Import Matplotlib dot py plot as PLB, right? So if you import this, it will recognize, instead of you having to type matplotlib.py plot every time you want to plot something, once you just do PLT, it will plot for you, right? Instead of writing pandas every time you need pandas, once you just write PD, it will call out pandas for you. Once you write NP, so you don't have to write numpy every time. Once it sees NP, it recognizes what you're talking about. So run all of this now, and we come back to run this. You can see that this already ran. Why is it not showing a figure? I have not told it to show anything. So by doing df now, because I have defined my data frame to be a df, right? And I've used pandas to call my data frame. By putting df here now, the data frame is going to show, it's going to display my data frame, right? So once you call df, this should be all of this data that we have. Sorry, Joy, what did you say?
Okay. Please, can you go through that step again? I'm sorry about
All
that.
right.
So
So
we
that
cannot
is
go.
the one. Okay. So that is this random data collection, right? Or which of the step? Or the one to
Where you
import
are
all of
importing Numpy and the rest.
Okay. So in Python, the fact that you already installed a package does not mean that you have called it into your environment, right? So if you open a new notebook any day, anytime, like this one that I open is Untitled 1. If I go again and open Untitled 2, I have those packages, but because I have not called them because I'll be using them in this particular notebook, Python will not recognize them. So the first thing you're supposed to do after installing your packages, in our case, Pandas and Numpy, the next thing you're supposed to do is to import, right? So these are the three packages that we're going to be using today. The three libraries we're going to be using today. So we have to import them, right? So importing NumPy as NP means that we have changed NumPy. We can just say import NumPy, right? If you say import NumPy, it will recognize NumPy already. So anytime you use NumPy in any part of your work, it will recognize it. If I say import pandas, it has recognized pandas already. So you need this your particular notebook to recognize all of the packages that you have installed on your Jupyter. Do you get that? So these shortcuts that we're now adding as NP, as PD, as PLT, they are just for, thank you, Joy. So these ones are just to shorten the names. So instead of importing them as NumPy, so everywhere I want to type NP now, I would have been typing NumPy, 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 and anywhere I need to type pandas, I would have been typing pandas, pandas. So calling it PD and calling it NP just help us to shorten it. So that's just what this cell has done for us, right? So moving on now to our data set for today. So the data set we're going to be using today is not this one that we generated. So this one is just a tip for everybody to know how to use NumPy to generate random data, right? So moving on, we are going to have to use the data set. I want to believe everyone has downloaded that data set. I'm not sure I can. Yes, it's more like it's more like we're importing it. Yes, but defining is where we did this NP, PD, and PLT. Yes, these ones are like we're defining what number is. So if I in the same vein come here, let me say I open a new notebook now. I'm sure this joy question is up
Hello now. Hello.
Yes.
Don't worry, you can continue.
All right. You understand that now, right?
Yes.
All right. So it's just simple. Just import NumPy. If I do import NumPy, it will still run. I don't have to do as NP. The as NP is just to shorten it for my own use. Do you get? So that I don't have to be typing Numpy every time I need it. So you see that this also ran. Yes, but this is very important. You must always import your packages. You must always import your packages for your notebook to recognize it. Right? It's not just enough to install. You still have to import. So let's go ahead. So I'll be bringing in our data set for today. So, but before I do that, there are ways to, label yourselves and define your work. So when you are giving out a Jupyter notebook, a random person looking at it should be able to understand all that you have done. And how do you do that? This box I'm clicking on is called a cell. So when you want to define this cell, you can use markdown notes. Markdown notes help you write plain terms that are not codes, right? So when I click on escape function on my laptop, you see that there's no more, there's nothing like there's no cursor inside of this place anymore, right? There's no cursor inside of this. This means that I have removed every label to write a code inside. So now I want to write plain English. So when I click again, the blinking cursor comes back, right? So when this blinking cursor came back, if I want to do a markdown again, I can just click escape. By clicking escape, it has disappeared. Then I would now press letter M on my keyboard. So that has changed this cell to a markdown cell. So now I can write markdown in this cell by using hash. Once I type hash, the big hash will help you convert this into, let's say we want to call this now data, getting your data, right? Getting your data. So once I shift enter on this, can you see that this is writing like a plain English? So now if I want to add some other things under this getting your data, so I can do this again, go to the next step, press that cell is already a markdown cell like that. So click the hash twice, type the hash twice, give a space. And then here I can now say the data would be imported from my download. Or I can even have 3 hash. So the higher the number of hash you are, the smaller you want the next wordings to be. So this, if I shift enter on this now, I press shift enter now. So you see that this is looking like a subtopic to getting your data. So with that, you can help define your cells so you are not just running code. Like look at this place now that we wrote df. Before writing that df, we could have written something like display the data set I generated. You get, so to help people to understand what we have there. So now we'll be writing getting your data. We don't need to write the data being imported from the internet. But if you need to explain, if you're trying to do data storytelling with Python, you will need a lot of markdown to do that. You would also even need to use bullet points. Your dots will serve as your bullet point as long as it's in the markdown cell. So getting your data, that works, right? Then Control V. For me, I have copied the file path that I want to use for my data. So for you might need to go to your downloads and then copy file path. I believe you know how to do that. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. So when you go to your download session, this is the file. For me, this is the file, right? This car challenge, right? So I can right click and copy as path. So once you copy as path, you come to your environment and say, so the function to read a file in Python. So I'm going to be doing this all over from the beginning, so it's what do you want to name your data frame as? The popular thing data frame is named as is df. So let's just use df. Df should be equal to, how would I read something that is in my download folder? How would Python know that is in my download folder? So I'll do pd.read underscore CSV. So this is us using Pandas to read our CSV file, right? So you come here and you see Control V. So this is going to tell the location of that file on your laptop or on your system or wherever it is. So now you can close this and press enter. So why do I have an error? This backslash, I am supposed to change it to a forward slash, right? Because that backslash is like that on my system because it was written to my system. So my system is seeing a write function. For me, I want to do what? A read function. So I'm going to change the backslash to a forward function. And that is what I'm doing now. With this now, you can then you see that it's not showing error. It's already working fine. Right? So I want us to get to this stage and I want to see our reactions on the group chat. So I want everybody to have been able to get their data. How do you know you have gotten your data? You would add df to your code. Once you add df, you're telling df to display, right? So once df displays, you will see all the contents of your data. So this is what our data contains. So if you're following me up to this point, thumbs up, reactions, let me see what we are having issues with on the chat. Thank you, Blessing. Thank you, Joy. I want new thumbs up. Pemi, are they coming? I want to see your response. Oluwase wrote to me. Thank you. Pemi, okay. I want to believe we are following. I'll soon tell everyone to send a screenshot of what they are doing on the chat. So I can be sure that we're following. So moving ahead from this now. So now we have our data. So looking at this data at the first glance, to display my screen from beginning to this point, you probably have to get this because you also have been following from the beginning. I might not be able to give you one view of everything so that you can see what I'm doing correctly properly. So this is the beginning. I installed Pandas and Numpy. I imported them. I used a random data to show us how Numpy works. Then we got into the data we're supposed to be working with. This is where we are actually starting from, which is getting our data, right? So here I want to believe that you downloaded the file I shared on the chat room, which is this ggcast challenge file. So this ggcast challenge file is what
Hello,
we
instructor.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Joy. Can anybody hear me? Okay. Others can hear me. Joy, you might have to check your network. All right. Thank you very much, Timothy. Okay, so that is how we got to this place. So once you download that data, just run this IRAN, copy the file part of your data, and ensure that you changed the backward slash to a forward slash, right? So you would have this. So if you look at this our data, even on Excel file. Let me open it on Excel so you can see what we have. Let's open this one Excel. Okay. Let me know when you can see the Excel file. So this is how it is displaying on Excel, right? So you see that the description has quite a number of descriptions for each of the cars that are available to be sold. And then we have the price, we have the type of the car and all that. So this place that describe the type of the car, we have title to describe the type of the car, which might not be sufficient enough for us. But we'll see how to clean that going forward. So looking at this data, what do you think we should do first? Everybody on the chart, I want to see. Looking at the data that is looking like this, what can we do with this information? How can we make this information much more usable for the business, right? Yes, Gordy, I know we'll clean it. How do we clean it? What's the first thing we should do in order to clean it? So I'm moving to data cleaning. We have to trim. Where are we trimming? Listen, what needs to be trimmed here? We have to trim. All of this is that people are saying is like people are dropping what you've heard people say when they want to clean data. For a data, you have to clean it, you have to trim it. You're not giving actionable to now. This is your business. These are all the things that Gigi is giving you that you can get. And you want to, as a salesperson, you want to show your customers that this is what we have available. Is this the way you present it to your customers? That see that Excel sheet I sent to you, I have the title there, and I have the price, and I have the description. Your customer should go and be looking through this data to find any information that they want. By the way, we can see that this is 4,000 rows. So this data has 4,000 rows. So if I'm looking for Toyota Camry color black, I have to run through all the 4,000 rows to find what I'm looking for. So how do we make this data more usable for the business? So we can know how many Toyotas we have. So maybe if you're by exploring, you are using English. People are not giving me using English. So let's just go ahead. Let me just continue so that we don't waste time, right? So first, we can use a df.sample to see other parts of our data. One thing df.does is it just gives you the first few data and the last few data. So we can use df.add. df.add. We can say the first 10 rows. So this is the first 10 rows of the data. In the same vein, we can use df.tail and say the last 10 rows of the data, show me what is inside. Right? You can see that there's a consistency. What is the consistency that I see? That every part of the data has the name of the car, the year of the car, and the color of the car in the title section. We have tried both the head and the tail of the data. That's what we're seeing. Another thing you can do is df.sample. You can sample the first 10. So sample is not going to give you the first 10 or the last 10. It's going to give you any 10 rows within your data. So this is just us looking to every direction of our data set to see if there is a pattern. That pattern will help us to clean it. So using sample now, we can see that even random samples are having the same format. Random samples, number 855, we've not seen number 855 in the tail, we've not seen number 855 in the head. It's probably somewhere in the middle. So we just brought all those hidden parts of our data forth and say, okay, so we can all agree that our data follows this pattern, right? So our data follows the pattern of the name of the vehicle, the year of the vehicle was the year of the model, and the color of the vehicle, right? So I want you to also try this on the data sets that you have, and let me see if you are able to get all of these responses that I am getting. So after the break, Joy, some people would have to share their screen so that I can see what they have been doing so far. But let's use this our session well. So once it's 11:30, we'll go on break. And by the time we come back, you would share your screen to show me how far you've progressed. I can call on anybody. All right, let's go
Of
ahead.
course, it is necessary.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Joy. So now that I've seen that there is a pattern to our data, can someone now tell me what we can do? At least now you should be able to give me a more cogent thing. Now, okay,
Please, hello. Sorry.
yes.
Can you let us see your screen from where you defined and imported your data again? Because I think some will be wondering. Okay.
Okay, so this is why I imported the data, right? Then I check the top 10 rows by using df.add. I check the last 10 rows by using df.tail. And I'm checking the sample. That's any random part of my data by using df.sample. I can try to make this 20, right? I can try to make this df.sample to 20. So if I make it 20, it will give me any random 20, right? And we see that even the random 20 still follows a pattern, right? And we can use that to say, okay, this is what our data has. Okay, when you downloaded the file, maybe you should try downloading the file again. And now, when you click download, it will open your file explorer. Once it opens your file explorer, ensure you note where it is downloading to. Right, so you go to where it is downloading to, right click and copy the file path. Or if you are getting an error message, it's possible that that session where it's downloading to, it does not have permission to access that part of your laptop. Probably the laptop is a work laptop, and especially if you are using your there are some part of your work laptop that if you download a file there, you might not be able to access it because it is controlled by organization. So you might want to put it in your downloads. Downloads is usually with little or no permission, right? And if you are using Google Colab, I don't know if you are using Google Colab. If you're using Google Colab, you will not be able to pick from your desktop. If you're using Google Colab, upload it to your Google Drive and use your Google Drive link instead of use your Google Drive link as your file path. So instead of writing this here, you will write the link to that file on your Google Drive in this place. So if you are using Google Colab on this call, it's Google Colab cannot see your desktop, cannot see your documents, cannot see the files in your folders. Right? So you have to use something that is inside Google Drive. So that can be the issue, Donald. Ah, bless you, your laptop battery went off. How will you share your screen like this? So can we proceed now? I believe we can proceed. So for me, the next thing we're doing, on looking at this data, the next thing I would be doing is to.
I think Blessing is no more here.
Oh, okay, no problem. She dropped a message that her laptop battery went off. So,
Yeah, you can continue.
all right, thank you. There are some people that have not dropped. Yes, Google Colab is what is giving you a headache. Sorry. So upload the file to your Google Drive, then copy the Google Drive link. So instead of writing this our
Hello,
file
ma.
path. Hello, Joy.
Sorry,
I'm
instructor.
here.
I think we should continue with the class, and there will be a time you answer to the questions, ma. So we
Okay, to
don't
the
take.
questions in the chat. Okay, just to save time, right?
Yes.
So I would. Okay, thank you very much. So we'll look at that. So let me continue. But if you're not following up to this point, it'll be difficult to do the next step. That's what I'm trying to address as many as I can. Those using Google Colab, if you can easily switch to Jupyter, it will be good for you, right? If you cannot, you might have to um, upload to your Google Drive, like I said, and use it from there. So, Christina, you say you're having errors. You have not shared the error. Like there's always a last line of error, right? Not this part is going to. After all of this long English, there is a last part that gives the error that you are actually getting, right? So let me see that last part from your system. So there is one last part that is usually in bold. You can just share that. There is no stated error in what you shared. Okay, UCF8 code by 0.9 invalid stats bytes. Okay, this is usually occurring. This is usually occurring if you don't add encoding. So you can want to do something like this. Put a comma beside your it's first thing, change your slash. If this is the way the slash came from your desktop, change it to a backward slash. But if it was in a backward slash, change it to a forward slash. Either one that right. That's what you should use. So if forward slash is not working, it's probably your system automatically uses forward slash. So now you have to change it to a backward slash, right? Then you can also include encoding equals to I don't know if this is let me see. There might be an encoding on the file. I don't know why, because I tried to give you the cleaned version that does not have any encoding error, right? That's why I'm sure you're having this. So you can want to look at that forward slash and backward slash for a start, then we can know what else the problem might be. So I'm going to begin. I'm going to begin
Trying to share it, it's not working.
so so that you don't even take us back in the class, you can put your error, that particular one, that last part of the screenshot you sent to me, you can copy it and put it on Google and to give you a response of. Oh, the data is shared as image. I'm seeing a download button
Hello,
here.
the data set. Sorry, the data set is already posted in our group. I sent it there,
Oh,
so please you can download from there.
okay. So download from the WhatsApp group chat then. If the one on this chat is showing like can download from the WhatsApp group and use that. I don't know you already have the file. Okay, going forward, you're moving. So to clean this data, first, this title as the name of the car, the model of the car, and the color of the car, right? So we are going to separate this so that we can group by the model, we can group by the car type, and we can group by color. So anybody that wants red, you don't have to scroll through 4,000 to find a red car. Anybody that wants Toyota, you can group all of Toyota models together. So we're going to be splitting the name of the car away from the model of the car and away from the color of the car. So that's the next thing we'll be doing. If anybody wants to download the file and go to where I am now, I really appreciate you drop the comment section. drop a message on this chat telling me that, oh, you are with me, right? So this other part, I can send you the code, right? So that you can also do it. So what you're going to be doing here, I'm going to be explaining every part of the code to you, right? So we'll first have a define function. I know that maybe you guys should have treated functions last week. So you define function, maybe you can call it anything you want to call it. So this one is we are splitting title. So we're calling define function split title, right? I'm supposed to press enter, not shift enter. So define function split title, then how many parts do you want to define it into? You strip it based on space. So there is a space bar, and you're going to split it down. Sorry, please, I'll be right back.
Okay, ma.
I think I have a delivery.
Hello, guys. Please, for those asking for the data set, it's the same thing that's posted in the group chat. So you can easily just download it from there. Thank you.
All right, so I need somebody that have downloaded and can work with the file properly to say that they've been able to download it in the chat. So Oluwase Rotimi, you're using the backslash. Please change it to forward slash. Thank you. That should work for you. Going forward, please. We're moving on. So, like I said, part equals to title, right? Title dot strip. We would have to strip our data so that we remove any. Somebody mentioned trimming the other time, so we remove any space either before or after the title, right? So that's what function strip does. So when you have strip, strip will help you to trim your data. Then split. Split will now help you to, if you have comma, if this was separated by a comma, so split will help you to split it by a comma. Now it is splitted by a space. So what we're just going to do here is to write nothing in the bracket. So we know that it is a space that it is splitted by. So it's going to divide all of this based on the space, right? So we have black separate, 2016 separate, Toyota separate, Camry separate. However, we don't want Toyota and Camry to be separate. We want them together. So that's why we're going to be taking another step. So after that, we now say if the length of part is less than 3, then return title, else return none, right? Already we recognize it. Then after that, you can go ahead and say try. So we're telling it what it should do in returning the title. Try year. So for year, we want another column that says year. So you are going to convert the parts to an integer. Integer of parts. Then you select -2 means -1 means the very last one, -2 means the second to the last. Right. So if you do 1, you are saying the first one. But if you do -1, you're saying the last one. So the minus makes it know it's coming from the back. So -2 simply means that you're picking the parts that's the second to the last, right? So that's what we're using here. Close that bracket. The next thing we want to separate is color, right? So to separate color does not have to be an integer. So it's even supposed to be in strings. Here is an integer because it is a value, it's a numerical value. But color is in strings because it is a string, right? Because it is English word. I don't know how to explain that. So color is the very last thing. So we're going to be using -1. Right. What's the next thing we're stripping? The car type. Car type. Car type will be equal to so I'm typing, I can't see if anybody is dropping a message. But I want to believe we're all following. So then we return car type. Yeah. And
Hello.
yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I think you will. If you can just help reshare the data set because it's showing as image. I just
I thought you
discovered
said
it
it's
now
already
that
on the WhatsApp chat.
I
That's what you said when I was.
forwarded it. Sorry about that. I forwarded it, but it's
Oh, you forwarded it from here.
yes. No, I actually
Oh, maybe
copied it.
now. Oh, all right. Let me reshare it. I don't know why it's showing as an image. Pimi has something to say. Your hand is raised. Let me see. Let me forward it. Let me send it again. But I sent it as a file now. Is it only image that can be attached on this chat? Can you tell me somebody
I
else to put it on?
downloaded it, but I tried downloading it, but it's not displaying anything from my own
All right. Can you tell me
end.
somebody else to put it on the chat for you guys? I think it's only image that can be shared on this Zoom meeting room because I'm not
Yeah,
seeing any option to change to different
what
room.
I'm trying to say is if you can share it yourself in the group, just a
No,
minute.
I'm not in the group.
Okay, okay.
Yes,
Let me.
so you have to look for it to try sharing it here again. I don't know if it's going to share properly. So nobody has been able to go past that. Need to download it. This was how Michael sent it to me. So it will be better if we can drop it on the group so that we can follow. I'll try sending it again. So I don't know if it's going to still be as an image. If it's showing as an image, no need to download twice so you don't waste your MB. Right? right, please just hold on. Let them share it on the group chat. I don't know, Joy, have you been able to get Michael to share it on the group chat?
Hello.
Hi, Joy. Is it shared on the group chat now?
Mr. Michael is not.
I got it. That's the same way I did it. I use the attach pin, right? So I guess Zoe is not recognizing it for the file. Or I don't know how else I'm going to have to share. Let me try and upload to my Google Drive. So those that are using Google Colab can use the link, and those that are, or you have to open this in your own Drive. I won't be able to read this from my own Drive. Let me try and upload it. I'll be able to upload it.
Sorry, did you just reshare it?
I will share the, but it's still the same issue.
It's still the same thing, but I tried to download and it's still the same. Well,
So I'm copying the link now to us, right? So that we can download it to our own space. Either download it or upload to your own Google Drive, and you can continue from there.
so is it the same GG card challenge file? That I think we have used this file before.
You have used it before. Share it, share it, share it, share it.
But I don't know since I can't view it
Read one,
because we
read one
I don't
Cops has been able to download the file. Read one Cops is
know.
working on this file already. He's already where I am. So the rest of you, how come you don't have it? Ridwan, however you get this file, can you share with others? Yes, this is correct, Ridwan. Thank you very much. This is the encouragement I'm looking for. At least somebody have gotten to where I am. So how was you able to get it? I've shared it as a Google file now. So maybe you can download it there. Adeolua, you have been able to download. So get to work, get to work, get to work. So this is really slowing us down, Joy. This file should have been shared before the class or on the chat. Now we are taking our back. Thank God I addressed this question. I would have just been speaking to myself without knowing that you guys are going through this. Me, I'm trying to download what Ridwan sent now, and it's downloading as an Excel file for me. I don't know why it's downloading as a. So now you might want to put your error online and see how it can, so that we don't start dealing with everybody's error one after the other. You can also ask Ridwan I as one is. Right? But I think you should put the error online so that we don't slow everyone down trying to address
Okay, ma.
individual errors.
I think you should continue with the class. Can you hear
Yes.
me?
So
You
I
should
was trying to
continue.
put
For
this
those
link.
that were able to
Can you hear me?
follow.
Can you hear me, Joy? All right, so going
Okay.
forward, your network is lagging, please. You can just stay mute. Um, Except value error. So let me continue from where I stopped. So if you can use this code, once you have this code, you'll be able to split your data. So you can either split the data this way or you use regex. So regex is beyond our scope for today and is not beginner friendly, right? So that is why I am not using regex for us on this call. I'm trying to use Pandas
Sorry, ma.
libraries to.
Hello.
Hello, Joy.
I think we were supposed to go on break by 3:30, but because of the issue that loaded this file.
Yeah, so we're not going on break because of the issue. So let's continue. Right? We'll go on break by
So
2.
guys, so that we know, we'll tackle this out first.
Alright, can we continue? Return title. So we have given you the condition. So if year is not an integer, just return the title back, right? Otherwise, don't put any value there. So now we have to apply this to our column. So if we do this without applying it to our column, this is going to run, but you will not see it in your file, right? You will not see it in your DF file. So after defining all of this to split your data, the next thing for you to do is to include it as part of your data frame. So to include it as part of your data frame, you define your data frame. So how do you define your data frame? I'm sure we must have done this last week also. Data type, year, color. This is like a dot append or a dot extend. So we're extending the file to include data type, the year, and the color. So aside having title, we would have all of this, and this series will help it to be in rows and columns, right? If we don't have pd.series, it can exist in a dictionary. It will not exist as a column on its own. So let's run this now and let's see what we have. So that has run. So now let's display our data again. So now you see that when I displayed my data again after running this query, I now have R type separate from year, separate from column. So before now, we were having 4 columns, but after I added this, we now have 3 more columns, right? So I want to believe that is clear. For those that are following and have gotten to this point. So the next thing I want us to look at here is that this description, this card type here and color, they are not good the way they are at the end. So we need to reorder our data sets, right? So I'm going to be copying this to us for those that are just joining or those that are just getting started so that you can use this to understand how we got here. I'll be putting it on the chat box. You can copy it there and paste it in your work. So many people are good now. All right, so I'm copying it here for you, Penny. You can use this to get to where I am. Yes. So
Okay.
yes. So if you are able to understand that strip will remove the space at the beginning and the end. Split will split based on the space bar in between all of these titles. But because we don't want it to split Lexus from IS from 250 from 4WD, that is why we now tell it that it is only when the space in between is less than 3. That's where you should start from. So the last 2 space should be for the year. The last 1 space should be for the color. Any other space aside the last 2 space should be grouped with year. So that's basically. Sorry, can you mute? There's a noise on your end. Any other space aside the last 2 space can then be called car type. So moving on from here. So now I want us to rearrange our tables. We don't need this title again. right? Because we have already splitted it into card type, year, and color. So we're going to be taking out this title and we're going to be bringing card type, year, and color to the front. So that is what we are doing. Right. So that's what we're going to be doing now. Let me pull up so that in case anybody wants to copy any of this code, we'll be able to do it. So going forward, we can rearrange our columns to look the way we want it. So we'll just drop the title column. So how do? We call all the ones that we need. So we now say our current DF will now be equals to the DF we have before. So now be arranged this way. Car type, right? We want year to follow it. Ensure that everything is in a quote so that it can recognize it as a column name. We want it to be followed by color. We want it to be followed by price. We want it to be followed by type. And we want it to be followed by description. Right? So once we have this, we can then we can run this ourselves again and we would have that arrangement. We can see that it has dropped title. Why did it drop title? When I was redefining DF, I did not include title in the definition. So I already removed title. So I started with card type, year, color. Then I moved to price, the type, and the description. Right? So with this now, we can see that what next can we do from here? This is year. It's not supposed to have 0.0 at the back. Why are we having 0.0 at the back? Because it's recognizing it. There are some null values in our data. And because of that, it cannot change this to an integer. Hence, it's changing it to a float. And when it is in a float means that it has decimal place. So when a data type is data type float, it means that your data has decimal place. But here is not supposed to have decimal place. So we're going to be changing this from a float to a proper integer. So we're going to be removing the nulls that are contained in the data. So that's the next step, right? Let's see how to do that. Hope we're with me, hope we're following. So we're going to be converting this to numeric. We're going to be converting our year column to a numeric column, not exactly an integer. So if there's any error, coerce it so that the error does not define how our year column will be shown. After that, let me see the data frame again. So once I do this, it is it's going to change. So you might get a warning because there's already a different way that Python wants to do this by using dot lock. Or I decided to use dots to numeric. So that's the same that I could have done it like this, right? So with this now, we would have a numeric value, card type, year, color, price, type, and description. So this year is now showing like a proper year should show. So going forward from that. We now have the price column. Another thing we need to do is that price will not aggregate if there is a naira sign in front of it. So we need to even, at this point, we need to check all our data types. So to check your data types, you can just do df.info. df.info will give you all your data types. So we see that some are float, some are integers, right? So many of these things are objects. When they are objects, they are most likely in string format. So aside our year, every other thing is in string format. So price is a numeric value. So it's not supposed to be in string format, right? So because of that, we're going to be looking at, because of price in string type, we're going to be changing it to numeric. What do we need to change price to a numeric format and not a string format? Can anybody help us with that? So what is making this price to be a string format is the fact that there is naira symbol in front of it. So this naira is causing it to be called a string because this is not a numeric symbol. Naira is not a numeric symbol. So we're going to be creating another price column that is going to be purely numeric, right? So that that one can now be aggregated, or we can use it in our visualization. When we get to visualization, we'll be going into visualization after the break, right? So now let's see how to convert this to a numeric table. The rest can stay as string. Type is all English. Description is all English. Car type is all English, right? So we can leave them the way they are. So let's move. So how do we change this to a numeric value? First thing to do is to define a price that says that anywhere you see naira, replace it with no space. So you see what I wrote here. So here I said anywhere you see, return price as an integer. So anywhere you see naira, replace it with space. Anywhere you see comma, replace it with space. Those are the things that are making it look like a string. So to convert it to integer, you need to replace the naira and the comma that it contains. So why am I now putting strip? Because if I replace it with space, it automatically creates space within my figure, within my value. So strip is to remove every space I don't want from my data. Right? Do we get that? So
Hello.
yes.
And please, can you increase your font size a little?
Phone. I'm not using phone. Oh, did you say font size? I am being. Are you with me?
Can hear you.
So this is 100% on my Zoom. I don't know why it's looking small on my end.
Okay.
Is it better now?
Can
Is it better?
Yes, it's better now.
Okay. Alright, so let's continue. So I would remove the space. Ensure that you're saving this file as a CSV file, right? If you're saving it in another format and you want to call it as a CSV file, it's going to throw an error. Ensure the file is saved as a CSV file and it is .csv that you are having at the back of the file. If you can't resolve the error, please put the error online. There might probably be an encoding type that your laptop is using. So when you put it there, it's tell you the encoding type to change it to, right? So that you can resolve that error. So let's continue. Once I replace every symbol with space and I strip out the space, so I can now say the new column I'm creating, which is price numeric, apply this logic that I just defined, apply it to it so that it will work. So the price column I have before, apply this logic of removing naira and removing comma, then call the new name of the column price numeric. Right, so that's what I did here. And then I can shift enter. If I run my data frame again, you'll see that I now have another column that is a numeric column that does not have naira symbol. So this one will be easy for me to aggregate because it's now in number format and not in string format, right? So I can also rearrange it like I did before. I believe at this point somebody should be able to give me the code to rearrange this. So I'm going to be scrolling back to where I did that first rearranging, which is this. I want everybody to just follow me, right? You can resolve all your errors, go through the recording again after the class. So just follow so that you will not be asking, how did they now, after that place, how did they not get here? And then you now be totally lost and you now be frustrated. So just continue and then you can get answers to all your questions at a later time. So once we copy this is how we rearranged before. So we can use the same format. So I won't be writing that again. So I'll just copy the same way. Right? And come here and paste it. So I want to define my data frame to follow this pattern. So now after price, I want to add price numeric, right? So here, I believe you can see my screen properly. So here,
Yes, we can.
thank you very much. So here I'm going to add price numeric to this particular data frame. And I'm going to put it in the position I want it to stay. So I want it to come after price, and that's what I have just done, right? So once I do this, if I run this cell now, price numeric comes after price. So that's already well defined. So what else are we going to? What else are we going to do with this data? Would so now if you were told to clean this data, this is the level of cleaning you have done. You have been able to separate the car type from the year and the color. And if anybody wants to do an aggregation in Excel, so if you import this file back to Excel now, it is usable for a business because you have helped them to resolve some basic things and it's now easier to filter for them, right? So they said, please, we need to see all the details I have, but everything is clumped together and we can't really understand. So you bringing it to Python and doing these few steps of cleaning, you have helped them to solve a big part of their problems, right? So going forward, what can we do to this description column? This description column seems to have a whole lot of information muddled up together, right? So what can we do or what can we get from this description? There are so many things we can get from this description. We can try to say, run a sentiment analysis, and that's what we'll be doing next week. In sentiment, I can say that if any comment sounds like a good comment, maybe you see the word fresh, see the word clean, the word chilling, the word sound, all of those words, it should tell you that the car is in good condition. And if the word says anything like bad, it says anything like old, it says anything like here now that this is saying distress, all those type of word, when you see any type of word, group that the car is not in a totally good condition. So all of those grouping based on keywords are part of the things that you'll be using during sentiment analysis. But here we can still use pandas and numpy to do some analysis that can help us analyze this our description text, right? So, and that's what we're going to be doing next. We're going to be analyzing the description text. So we can say that if the description says there is AC, then add it as AC to our columns. I'll be showing you how to do that. So when you see any part of the description that says there is AC or there is cooling, you see any word like this, put it there that it has AC, right? So if we run this now, and say div around this. So we'll have one extra column that helps us to say whether the data has AC or not, right? Then we can also come again and do a ranking. We can rank the engine or you can rank all the cars based on the ones that have never had accidents before, the ones that have passed through custom duty, that custom is aware that you're bringing this car into the country, and the ones that have reverse camera. So if we do that, we are going to have we do that for, so this is called custom score or ranking. All of this can be done with machine learning, right? But we're just doing it on a surface level now. So because this is a whole lot of text, so text analysis of picture engineering is more of a machine learning thing. But we can also do the few things that we can do with our pandas and our numpy and all of that before we get into machine learning proper. So here is going to tell you if it is accident free, no matter the way this. So case equals to false means no matter the way the word accident was spelled, right? No matter the way the word accident was spelled, you should no matter the way the accident was spelled, you should be able to go on break, guys. So let's just keep up.
Hello.
Hi, Joy.
Okay, I thought it was from my own end.
Okay. So when you see case equals to false means that if this thing is written in capital letter or small letter, anyhow it is written, as long as you see the word accident and you see the word free, then that should be labeled that it is actually accident free, custom duty, and then there's a reverse camera on that vehicle. So that's help us to give a rating to the vehicle. So when you run this now, we are going to have, let's run the F again. So when we run the F again, we see that we have something called quality score, right? So quality score of this first vehicle is 0. But this Lexus is also 0, right? But Toyota Camry is 1. So now the last thing we're going to be doing is to be writing this back to a CSV file, right? So once we write this back to a CSV file, please, there's noise in your background. If you're following me, you can
Oh,
just drop it.
sorry.
Yes.
Sorry.
So we write this to a CSV file so that we can return it to whoever needs it, right? And tell them that we have cleaned it to a level and you can use it for whatever you want to use it for. So how do you write to a CSV file? Before we did read CSV. So now we'll be doing to CSV. So to CSV would take the file from here back to the location you want it to be stored on your system, right? So I can come here and pick any location on my system, copy the file path, then tell the file that when you want to save, or save to this part of my system, right? So that's what we'll be doing. You can name your new file anything you want to name it. So me, I named mine new GG. I can name it anything based on use. So the code is df.to.csv. So once you type df.to.csv, you define where you want it to be on your system, and then it should go there. As long as you have permission to save in that part of your system, it will definitely save there, right? So mine are saved to my downloads. If I open my downloads now, I should see the file there.
Hello, ma. I think it's time for a break.
Yeah, so this is where we're stopping. So let me just open my download file. Where's my downloads? So once I open my download, you see that there's a new file that I just created by 12:01 p.m. and it is there. So that is where we are going to stop for now. I will continue when we get back. So when we get back, we're going to be using Matplotlib for visualization of this data. All right, everyone. So how many minutes is the break, Joy?
5 minutes.
Oh, okay, 5 minutes. All right. So we're back by 12:07.
Yes, ma.
All right.
So, guys, attendance will be shared.
All right. Are we back now? Are we here? This is 12:08.
We are here.
All right. Please, I need to see responses, reactions. Let me know everybody's here now.
Please, we need about few minutes to do some extracurricular activity, ma. Just 3 minutes, so we can
Okay.
just. Let me go back to the chance first.
Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Please signify with an emoji if you are back. A thumbs up from you guys, please.
So, Joy, can I continue?
Okay, ma. So please, a minute. Just needed the attention. We have just few people here that are reacting.
Okay.
Okay, so here is it. Please, let's just do a little refresher of our memory. So, here is a little question for us. If you would love to visit a country sooner or later in the lifetime, so you have to mention two countries you would love to visit. The first you would love to visit, and the second one you would love to visit and spend your whole lifetime there. One you visit the first one and you return, then the other one just mention the other one you visit and you love to spend your whole lifetime there. So please guys, in the comment section, let's just do this. Please, did you get my question? Okay, I said we are to mention two countries we would love to visit sooner or later in our lifetime. And first, the first country you love to visit just for visiting sake, and then the second, the one you love to visit and spend the entire of your lifetime there. So please, just your response, please. Wow. Someone said just visit UK. Okay. And then live in Canada. That's good. Please, more comments so that we'll go back to our class. Is it only Adewumi, Timothy? Wow, we have so much lovers of Canada and UK. Ireland. Okay. But there's a country that I'm looking up to you guys. Someone is not mentioning my own country here. The country in my mind to visit. I wish someone can just. One more minute, please. So we'll go back to our class. Okay. I love to visit Canada though. Canada is a good place, but I will love to. I don't know. No one is mentioning my sweet country, Nigeria. Nigeria. Nigeria is my best country. Home, sweet home. But I don't know why you guys are not calling this your sweet country. Nigeria is my favorite, even though I visit the rest. It is home, sweet home to me. So thank you guys. Let's go back to our class. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, Ma. We can continue with the class. Over to you.
All right, thank you very much, everybody. Everybody wants to go to UK and Canada because that's where data really thrives, right? They have a good community of data analysts there, right? So, but other places too are as well good to start up your career. Data visualization. So in this session, the first thing I want us to do is most of our visualization requires grouping either the year or grouping either the price. So I won't be able to scroll up because of time, Adeoluwa, right? So you might just have to wait for the recording or the file itself so that you can replicate. Just follow the class, right? So for this price, I want us to group it into prices that are less than 10 million, prices that are above 10 million, within 10 million and 200 million, and prices that are above 200 million, so that you can classify your customers. Not everybody will be able to afford a 200 million class. So now you already know that these are the cars you have available. If you go to places like, let's say, Mushi, or you go to Abaronje, or you go to deeper places of Lagos like Ota or all those very remote areas, you cannot be selling a car of 200 million naira to them. You might not really get customers of cars like that from those places. So doing that your customer segmenting, right? You'll be able to know that these are the set of people that can buy this variety of cars. So when a salesperson is going to places like those places I've mentioned, they will not tell them that we have BMW Alpina B7. There's no need to tell them that they have this type of car because look at the price, it's 220 million. Who will buy it in Mushi? You get. But when you're going to places like the island, in Lekki, and all of those places, right? You can pitch to them that, oh, we have this type of car, it's color green, it's BMW Alpha B7 drive. You get. Those set of people would appreciate this type of vehicles more, right? So, but when you're going to places like those I've mentioned, you can just tell them that, oh, we have Honda Accord. Honda Accord is 2.6 million. They will still be willing to buy it. We have Toyota Camry is 8.5 million. So there are some regions that you should not take cars that are above 10 million to. Then when it comes to areas like, let's say, where the middle class stay, like Yaba, Surulere, and all those places, you can pitch the cars between 10 million and 200 million to them. So you can tell them that you have cars around 38 million, 13 million, Lexus of 23 million, of 21 million, right? Those that are in middle class would be able to afford vehicles that are within that price range. So we're going to be doing that grouping now so that we can visualize our data with that, right? So let's continue. Mhm. So to check for duplicates, you can do df.duplicates, right? You can do df.duplicates on your data, and then you see if there is any record of duplicates on your data. Or to be more specific, if you want to check for duplicate on a particular column, you do df open parent brackets, that column name, then dot duplicates. So I believe I've answered your question, Gordon. So moving on, we'll be grouping our data, right? So let's group based on the price range below 10 million, above 10 million, and all of that. We're already far behind time. First, because we started late. Second, because there was no access to the data sets. So this already ran, it's just giving us a different way to do it, right? So we already have prices that are, you see, this is 23 million. It is within 10 million and 100 million, right? So that is why the price category is showing 10 million and 100 million. This is 21 million.
Sorry. This code, I think, did you just copy it or you?
Okay, do you want me to share it with you?
I
Do you want me
don't
to
know
share it
if
on the,
you
on the
did.
group?
You just
Or
typed.
should I explain
I
it?
think you said because we. I didn't. I don't think we got when you were typing.
Okay. Because that I said that we're already far behind time and I cannot be maybe explaining each one after the other, right? But let me just see if I can explain the code. So like I've been doing since the beginning, you first define a function that you want your code to work with, right? So the first thing I did was to define a category. So in defining this category, I said if price is less than 10 million,
This
run
code,
below 10
the
million.
data visualization.
Joy, are you saying something? If data is less than 100 million, run between 10 and 100 million. Then if data is not any of these two, classify them as what? Above 100 million, right? So after doing all of this, then you can now say you are creating a new column. That new column is called price category. In my new column, apply this category that I have defined to price that I have before and call the name of the new. Joy, do you want to mute? And call the name of the new category price category, right? So, and I said view the result of what I have done. So if I view the result, now, I will have the price showing with the price category. But now I want to view all my data sets and I want it to show price category inside of it. So if I click on DF now, to show me the entirety of my data, the car type, the year, the color, the price, and the price category. So to show me where every car belongs to, this Toyota belongs to below 10 million naira cars, right? Then some of them belongs to above 100 million. Like this BMW now belongs to above 100 million, right? So that's the categorization that I have done. You can study it. I'm sending it here now so that you can study that particular code and see how I used it using the chat box. So I'm proceeding now. So
Okay.
now we can get into our visualization proper, right? Now that we have grouped our data to a certain extent. So let me so this class is meant to end by 1. So we're going to do few visualizations and then we'll call it a day. But if you have any other question, I can take it. The first thing we're going to be doing is top 10 cars by their price, right? We want to do top 10 cars by their price. So you know that at the beginning of this class, we imported the Matplotlib. And if you look at all the codes we've been written, you've not seen anywhere that we used that PLT dot. We've not used it at all. We've only been using PD dot, MP dot in all of our files. Okay, my screen is not full. My screen was full before. Joy said it was too small. I increase the size. So I'm reducing it now so you can see it again. Please confirm that you can see this full screen now. Got it.
Yes, we can see.
Right. Going ahead. So you see that from beginning, this particular one that we've come a long way. We imported our matplotlib.py plots as PLT, right? We have not used it since. We have only been using Numpy and Pandas. So now we're going to use this. So anyway you see me use PLT, know that this is the function that I am calling. So that is what we're going to be doing now. So this function is going to help us get top vehicles by price. So yeah. So yeah, we're going to have top vehicles. We'll group them by their car type and by their price and give us the ones that are like the first 10. That's why I said dot ed 10, right? So once you see dot ed, that means that you're taking top 10. Remember that we used this function earlier to see our first 10 rows. So once I click enter here now, the plot is going to show. So let me share this with you so that you can also run it on your end and see if you get a similar plot to what I got. Yes, so once you do that, you should be able to get top 10. So the PLT.title, you put your title there. PLT.x label, you put the x-axis label there. So let's see our x-axis. Our x-axis is showing car type. And where did I define the car type? Here, in this X label, I define the car type. In the Y label, I define average price. Then S6 rotation. Let me remove this and you see what will happen. If I remove that rotation, PLT does. So these are the things that PLT function will do for you, right? These are the things that PLT function will do for you. So once I remove that rotation of x-axis, if I rerun this now, you see the way my x-axis label will be showing. See the way they are showing. But if I add that it should rotate in 45 degrees, so you can change it to 90 degrees, you can change rotation to any degree you want it to be. So most times people use 45 degrees. So to run it again, you see that it is now slanted. Each of them are now slanted, right? So Lamborghini, Mercedes-Benz. So Lamborghini is the most expensive of our cars, right? And it's about 8 800 million naira, because this is 8 raised to power 8. So it's about 800 million naira. Then followed by Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz is about 600 million naira. Then Mercedes-Benz G-Class is about a little below 800 million, right? So like that, like that, like that. And you look at all our top 10 vehicles, you cannot be, if the reason why you need this is when lucky people ask you which car do you have to sell for us, you have to show them your expensive cars. So by sending this to your salesperson, sending this visual to your salesperson, you already know that we have Benz, we have Rolls Royce, we have Ferrari, we have Cadillac, we have Lamborghini. These are the things that you should display to our top customers. So for the top class vehicles, the least price there is like 400 million naira. So if you have 400 million naira, you can buy this Benz for yourself, right? So that is the reason for grouping and visualizing our data. Let's take another. If you have any visualization metrics that you want us to visualize, maybe type of car by quality of car or anything like that, anything you want to see, you can drop it in the chat so that we can visualize it, right? So let's continue. There's another type of visualization that we can also do on this our data. So this is a bar chart that I have done. So we're going to be doing a box plot next. So this one we're going to be showing those that are foreign used, local used, and all that, but that will also determine their price, right? So we see that brand new cars, majority of our brand new cars, they are above 4 million, right? They are an outlier. Why? Because all their prices are out of this box. They are above 4 million. Foreign used cars, some of them, you can still see some foreign used cars below 2 million. Cars that are on loan, you know that the owner needs money to come and buy it. So they are even below 2 million. They just want to pay. Local used cars are below 2 million. Nigerian used cars are below 2 million. But brand new cars, they are majorly above 400 million from what you can see here. Right? So, okay, let's look for a color distribution chart like Adeolua has requested.
Top 5 colors.
Yes, so let's put something around that. For this particular one, I'm going to be doing a I'm going to be showing you all the colors that are available that we have. So I'm going to be using a box plot still. So we're going to be filtering by car color. So here I'm saying if the price is less than 30 million and it is foreign use and it has AC. So you have a customer that say he doesn't want local use, though he wants a foreign use car, but he does not have more than 30 million. Your salesperson does not have to go through all of the 4,000 cars to know which one is available. So you just need to check here and tell him that, okay, under 30 million foreign used cars that have AC, let's see what it is going to give us. So it's showing us that there is a beige color, there's a black color, there's a blue color, there's a brown color, there's gray, there's green. All of these colors are under 30 million. They are foreign used and they have AC. So any one of them you want, any one of these color you want is available for such cars, right? So let me look at another interesting visual. So we're going to be using a pie chart next. a pie chart. We're going to be distributing cars based on their price category. So I've done a price category column that is telling us vehicles that are under 10 million, the vehicles that are above 10 million. So we're going to be using that now in a chart. So for this, we have distribution of cars by price category. So we have so here now you can use this let me send it on you. You can use this for any type of data. All you need to do is to be change kind. If I change this to this kind now to I think if I change it to bar plots, kind should be bar. Okay, because I did not set a rectangle. So if I want to change it to bar, I need to remove all of these definitions. Because all of these definitions tells you that it's a circle. So once I remove all of this, it will work. But I want us to use a pie chart. So I was just saying that I'm going to copy this code for you. Now. You'll be able to use it for any type of chart you want. You just be going to that kind and change it to histogram, change it to bar, change it to box, plot, and it will be changing. So let me copy this for us so that we can see the chart. So yes, Jim, I'm already answering your question without even seeing your question. Thank you. So this is the code for the chart. All right. So this now will show us the distribution of cars by price category. So we have those that are above 100 million. They are not so much. The ones that are below 10 million, they are 34%. For the ones that are between 10 million and 100 million, they are the most cars that we have. So if you have a salesperson on your team as a business owner, tell them to target the middle class the most, because we have a lot of cars for the middle class, those that can afford cars between 10 million and 100 million. Pitch all of these cars to them. You can pitch to some higher class too. Some of them might still want something around 80 million, 100 million, you can still pitch them. But you know that these cars, you can't really pitch it to those that are in lower class. Why? Because they can't even afford anything above 10 million. So you're supposed to know where to direct this target to the app. The most of the cars I need to sell are within 10 million to 100 million. So let me go to customers that in maybe Surulere, Yaba, Ikeja, all those places that middle class people stay, Ogudi, right? So that they can do what they can buy cars from me. So all of this would help us to better see how to use our data, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So once it's 12:40, I'll start taking in questions so that we can round up by one. So let me see if there's any other chart I want to display. Okay, quality score. So to know the quality of a vehicle, I also did a chart that would help us to see the quality score of each of the vehicle based on their price, right? So I can even decide to use car type here. Okay.
I think someone is suggesting scatter plot. But let's try what you're doing first.
Okay, so it's scatter plot we're actually doing now. Okay, so this is not showing the values properly. Right. So I think it's why is it not showing it properly? Let me use price. So okay, we have a lot of car types. So the car types are more than the peak size we have. Let me try and see if I increase the peak size, if it will help the display of the scatter plots. So to write a report on Python analysis, you can save your file as a PDF, or you can download it as, okay, I said I'll start the question by 12:40. Let me keep the question to them. Right. So let's just use price numeric here. We have a whole lot of card types, so it's affecting the way the visual of card types come out. And these are some of the limitations that you might now want to use some other visualization tools like Power BI to analyze this. So let's do price. So yes, in comparing price with quality score, so there are some cars that have zero. They don't have AC. They don't have AC. You know, quality score. We rated them. We rated them as 0 to 3, with 0 being those that does not have AC, is not foreign used. And what was the third condition we used to define our quality score? Let's go back to that chart. How we used to define our quality score. I think that was the last thing we did before we went from there. Right. Quality score. Yes, quality score. So we define this based on accident-free, custom duty, and it has reverse camera. So we can see that a lot of vehicles, although they are very expensive, they are not accident-free. They probably have not passed through custom, and they don't have reversible camera. But there are some that does have all of these things. So this is why visualization is important. So the last thing that I want to show us before I start taking questions, if you look at this chart, what do you see in this chart? When we're doing distribution by car color, what did we see? We'll see that there is 2006 as a color type, which is actually right. There is nothing like 2006. There's no color that is 2006. Why do we have this? Can anybody help us why we have this? Remember at the beginning of this class, I said that this is a exploratory data analysis class. So we're exploring the data. So even visualizing your data is a way to explore it, right? So one of the ways that we have explored this data is to now see how to define it by so many things. And we've tried to define our prices based on the colors of the vehicle that are available. And we have seen that there are some colors that don't exist, and we are seeing it. So can anybody tell me why we are seeing 2006 as a color? Okay, nobody can answer that. Let me just go ahead and answer that. So the reason why we are seeing 2006 as a color means that there is a particular outlier in our data. That means not all the rows of our data have color as the last tab. Remember when we're using this title at the beginning of this class where we started? After importing our data, everything seems to be having God, you are close. Yes, you are close. You cannot say it was not properly splitted because you can split the data, but because it has plenty records, you might not be able to see all the aspects of that data, right? So we have white. Yes, thank you. You guys are getting it. So it looked like everything had white as their last value, right? Everything had colors as their last value. But that means then we went ahead again to check the top 10. We saw that it has white as its last value. We went to check the last 10 by doing df.tail. We saw that it has white as the last value. We then tend to take random samples of our data, and we still saw again that it has colors as the last values, right? So that's why we now say, okay, now we can split the last column to be color and the second to be last to be year. But apparently, now that we are looking at it, we can see that everything on the last line is not color. So there's definitely a particular part of this data that actually have year as the last. Probably they did not put color there, they did not define the color, or is that they did not define the color, or it does not have color, or the person that was typing it on GG wrote car type first, wrote color next, then wrote year last. So those are the data inconsistencies that we need to avoid so that our model will be totally correct. Imagine us already going ahead to build a model with this data, and it's now telling us that there is a color that is called 2006. That people have been buying a lot of cars that the color is 2006. You'll be confused that why is this machine learning model telling me that people have been buying a lot of cars that are called 2006? There's nothing like 2006 in all the colors that I have. You want to know which colors have been most sold, right? So that you can then, going forward, when you're importing more cars, or is that color that you'll be importing? Then you not type your machine learning model and not telling you that there's a color that's called 2006. So, right? Anywhere you see that color, that's the one that people have been buying the most. So that means definitely the data is not accurately clean. And that is the purpose of things like this that we're doing. And for you to now go further in cleaning this data like this, you would have to now use regular expressions. So regular expressions is a whole new world of cleaning, right? But if you want to do it easily, like, okay, don't stress me, I don't want this data in my data, you can just easily remove the data from your data set. But if you want to continue the splitting and take the splitting a step further, regex is what will help you to do that. And that is not going to be covered in this class because it's beyond the scope of this class. But by exploring this data, you've been able to find out that there are so many much more cleaning that you can do with it. So you have it right in your hands to explore. You can do many more types of exploring, right? Once you do many more types of exploring, you'll be able to find out what is not correct before you give the data sets to your data scientist to now run a model on it. Or if you're also the data scientist, you need to do as much EDA, any type of visualization you can think of. Vehicle by car type by model, car type by year, do everything so that everything will help you to expose every part of your data, and you will know where there are outliers that can affect your model. So I want to believe that that is properly clear now. So yes. So now I can take questions. Thank you, everybody. We've come to the end of this part.
Wow, thank you very much. Thank you for your explanations. So, guys, question time. If you have questions, please drop in the comment section. Let's attend to our questions. I think someone asked earlier,
Okay.
now how do we write a report on Python analysis?
All right. Yes, so if you want to save this file now, you can save and export notebook as an HTML file. You can export it as a LaTeX file. You can export it as a Markdown. You can export it as a PDF. You can also export it as a review.js slides. So if you export it as a review.js slides, although it depends on how you import your data, sometimes this might not yet already be activated for you. So if it's not activated for you, if you say save as review.js slides, it might return an error for you, maybe like an error 500, something like that. But if that is already done for you, see for me now, it has saved it as like a slide. I'm going to save it in my downloads and open it for us. Let me call it GG cars lights, right? So as it is like this, it's going to look like a slide. So once you save it, I can go to my file explorer, and when I open this, it should run like a slide for me. So I can change the view of what I want to see. I can change the view of my slides. So there are so many things I can do around it. So there's also another way to also download it.
Hello, Ma.
Yes.
Please, I think the question is how to write a report. That's what the person is asking.
Yes, so if you are
Not
able to download your file as a slide, I think you can write any type of, or if you're able to write that as a PDF, you can use it as any type of, and like I also said, using markdowns. Like now that we go to data visualization, for this plot now, before we do this plot, we can include a we can insert a cell above that will explain that, oh, this chart you're about to see, or maybe after your visualization now, like after I've done group this thing by 10 million to 100 million, you will now come here and write like a proper English word, press escape and press M on your system. Or another way to change your this thing to markdown is to come here in this drop down. You see code, you see markdown, you see raw. Choose markdown. Once you choose markdown, come here and type anything you want to type. Looking at the pie chart above, majority of our vehicles are for the middle class customers, right? Middle class customers. So that the next time they're importing, they should import small things for the high class or for the low class. So they will know that we have a lot for the middle class already, because it amounts to about 63% of our data, right? So you can write words inside. And another thing you can also do, when you click on your chart, you can download your chart. So when you right click on your cell, you can copy your output to a clipboard. So this chart now, if I open PowerPoint on my laptop, after I already understand everything my report is doing, if I want to use PowerPoint to generate my reports, and I need this chart that I already got here, you can just copy to a clipboard and go and paste it on your PowerPoint. You get, so you can write your report in a PowerPoint, then be coming here to copy either your code or the outputs, right? Once you copy it, right click on the chart, you copy the outputs, and then you take it into this thing. And for your output, you can put it there already that enable scrolling. Maybe the chart is very big like this one. When you enable that they can scroll, don't just go and copy it up to this level that is not showing the other parts. So you do all of that. You copy it and you paste it on your PowerPoint. You do the same for all of your charts, and you would have a report in PowerPoint. Exactly. Is that better?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you very much, Adela, for responding. All right. So you can do all of that, copying and pasting out of Python. So Python is not really a storytelling tool, but you can make it a storytelling tool. If I use a lot of, so you can do all your visualizations here in Python. If Python is what your organization is using, you can do all your visualization. Use your markdown cells to put bullet points around it, right? Do all of everything you want to do here and share the file as a PDF to whoever wants to use it. But if you want it to be automating, like you want an automated report, you can put a scheduler that from the source of your data, it should be scheduling anytime a data is updated, let it reflect on my file. And you will need something that will be continually online to do that. So then you can now maybe say you want to use Power BI, but you don't need to go back to Excel to do anything. You get, so if you want maybe a more, user-friendly visualization or automation, you can use Power BI. But you don't need Excel. Anything you could have done in Excel, you would have done it times 10 here already, right? So we will definitely have this. Any other question? So you can connect to other data sources like SQL and the rest. So there are other libraries that you need to import, right? There are other libraries that you need to import that can help you, connect to SQL, connect to other data sources, right? So you just need to import the right libraries that can help you do that. To analyze your data in Power BI, there is a Python visualization in Power BI. So if you check your visualization pane in Power BI, you see something that is called Python. You can import your existing Python file, and the exact same visualization that you have on your Python file, you just display it in Power BI like that, the way it is. But while replicating what you have done in Python in Power BI again, except you maybe want to do some other things that you feel like, okay, I'm more comfortable with Power BI, right? So, but then there is space for that within Power BI. There's also a place you can get data in Power BI, and then you click on Python script and you write all of this your Python scripts there, and the data will be produced in Power BI for you. That's also another option. But to visualize your Python reports in Power BI, there's a visualization called Python that you can use in Power BI. Right, any other question? We have 4 minutes to the end of the class. Joy, should I hand it back to you?
5 minutes more. Okay. You talked about outliers. The outliers. I mean, can you hear me?
Okay, I'm seeing another question from me. Okay, if you want to create more visuals on Power BI using Soul, yes, you can just download the cleaned data. So maybe you want to use your Python just to clean your data. So after cleaning your data, right? We got to the point where after cleaning our data, we then did it. We then wrote it back to CSV. If you remember this step, new GG. Before I started visualizing the data, right? When I finished cleaning, I wrote the data back to my downloads folder. So you copy a file path in your file explorer, put any name you want to call your data inside, and then use df.toCSV to convert this data frame to a CSV file back. So after I'm done cleaning, I converted it back to a CSV file and I saved it. Immediately this cell ran. When I came to this place, I saw the file. That was 1201. Before we went on break, that was the last thing I did. And this is the new file, GG. So this one now, you can import it into Power BI and do visualization there. So if you only want to use Python for data cleaning, you just stop there and then you continue visualization in Power BI. Remy, I think I've answered your question. All right. So, Joy, you can continue, please.
All right. I was talking about your outliers. So is there a way we can do away with the outliers? Maybe there's a way we can do some exploratory analysis and then
Yes, you are supposed to do some exploration. So, what is exploratory analysis? Exploratory analysis is exploring your data. So, while we were exploring our data, we realized that a place there is 2006 instead of color. It's showing 2006, right?
okay. So what I'm
So,
trying to ask, sorry, I'm sorry
go
for
ahead.
cutting you short. What I'm trying to ask is if there's a way we can find it out earlier before our visualizations, then cleaning it
No,
before the
you can find
visualization.
it earlier before your visualization, right? Depends on how many times you sample your data. You know, when we were sampling our data, now we only did sample only 20. Do you get? You can come again and say you should sample another 50. So like that, you are seeing different size of your data. But visualization is also part of your exploration of your data. Majorly, Python is for data science, right? It's not really for visual or to make things look good or fine. Do you get? The reason why you're doing this is not to see. If you want to see fine visual, there are so many other tools you can use. We already know that, right? So the reason why we're doing exploration, visualization is part of exploration step, right? Why? Because it will help us to see. I'm not sure. I know that there were like 5 different class of bands before when we were looking at the data since. And why did I not know that? Because I have not seen any reason to group them like this. So, but grouping them like I'm saying that there's a Benz class that is 63, another one that is a new one is new Mercedes Benz, one is Mercedes Benz, one is new Mercedes Benz, one is normal Mercedes, like all those things. So exploration in Python involves you doing basic visualizations like scatter charts, scatter plots, box plots, pie charts, and all of that. So it will help you to further see where there are outliers in your data and where some data does not make sense. Because you will never be able to scroll through 4,000 rows of data.
Okay, I get it now. Thank you.
Yes. So that is why. So this is part of it. So this is a step that every data scientist must do before they get into machine learning. So, like I said, you can further look at regex, right? You can further look at regex to clean your data more, right? So regular expressions, you import regular expressions and it helps you to clean your data more. It's 1 p.m. already.
Okay.
Yes, I think we are good to go now and join. I think I'm done.
All right. Thank you very much for this wonderful session. We are grateful. Thank you. Please, if you know you enjoyed this class, I want to see your thumbs up, your emojis. Thank you all for making yourself available to be part of this class today.
All right, bye everyone. Thank you very
Hello,
much.
ma. Hello. Hello, ma.
Oh, okay, me.
Mrs. You didn't give us any work, no any classwork or assignment since there was no time for
Okay,
classwork.
okay. So I can give an assignment. So explore this data further. And for this is already an assignment I gave you. For this one that is showing 2006, explore regular expressions to remove it because it is not a column.
Okay.
So you can do that and drop on your group chat and collaborate.
Is that the only assignment?
Assignment I gave you can take you like 3 days to figure out. So if you can finish that one in time, then add more visualization techniques, right? add more visualization techniques. There are so many things you can still, there are so many visualization you can still do with this data. We have not done anything about AC. We have not done count of cars that have AC compared to the ones that does not have AC. You can do all of that. You can do a whole lot of other. So first, try a whole lot of other visualization techniques with your data. Use all the columns to visualize data. Use all the columns to visualize data. Then next,
Sorry, can you
remove
put
the
it
outlier.
in? Because
What do you say?
can you put it in?
Okay, I should
If
put
it
on the
can be
chat.
written, yes. Are you in the chat?
All right.
In the group
No,
chat, I
I'm not
mean
on the
to
chat.
say.
I'm not
Okay,
in
you
your
can
WhatsApp.
forward
I'm
it.
putting it here.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm putting it here.
Okay.
So those are the two assignments that I have dropped on the chat. You can use that. Sorry, I have to go now. Thank you everyone once again.
Thank you too for this session. Thank you very much. We are grateful having you.